Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Free and easy ways to support the channel. There might be like a little bit of like random rambling in this video. There's a lot going on in my mind surrounding finance and surrounding money. I try as often as I can, as best I can, and a lot of times I want to say 95%. That's not a fake number. 95% of the time, I feel like I'm kind of almost talking to a wall. Not to all of you, or at least I'd like to assume that the people who return actually are here trying to learn something, get something, absorb something, that kind of thing. I was recently chatting with someone about money and about finance or just about life, and I was asking about investing. And I see that there's still a huge, gigantic wall for a lot of people. A lot of times over many years in my life, I realized that when people hear investing, they equate it to the stock market. They equate that to like horse races. They equate that to like rolling dice, like not even in a joking way. That's kind of, even I told you before, many years ago when I was told about investing when I was younger, it was this idea of like flipping a coin, and if you didn't flip the coin fast enough, or you didn't have like the coin that was rigged, you weren't going to get the money from it. I think having personally invested for so long as I've been investing for like investing like 10, 12, 13 years, somewhere around there. I mean, like really like full time. I know that that's not the case, if you will. Investing your money in crypto is like a thing. I know that sounds like stupid to hear, but it's like an actual asset class. You put your money into crypto, you watch it grow, time goes by, you make enough money. Other people who didn't enter when you did see that you entered and they go, oh, I wish I had done the exact same thing. That kind of equation. It's the same exact thing with stocks. Like I've told you multiple times, a lot of people I know are not comfortable with crypto, which is totally fine. And I think I've kind of become known as like the crypto guy in my circle simply because I have the channels, I invest in crypto. Got it. But usually if I announce that other people should be investing in something or even just in stocks, I realize that a lot of people don't have any actual financial knowledge about anything. And it worries me a lot, like an actual like huge amount, like nearly every single day. Like I said, it's going to be of a different weird video, potentially, maybe. I don't know exactly where this is going. As far as the average person doesn't really understand how bad things actually are and how much worse that they're going to get for them. A lot of people... Do you understand what it means to not even understand what investing is, or that it could be for you, that it could benefit you in some sort of way? Remember, this was like 5 years ago. I got into a situation where I was trying to discuss with someone investing and putting money away and all that other kinds of things. And they were telling me that someone had introduced them to the idea of like investing in gold, because gold was going to go to $35,000, something like that, an ounce, like all these years ago, like instantaneously. And I had to explain to them that was A, wasn't going to happen, and B, it was basically used as like a hedge to like kind of just barely keep up with inflation. Especially if you look at gold's price from 2005, 2010 to where it is now, it's like just kept up with inflation levels. But then when I try to explain like what money is and what wealth is, and I say this from the perspective of someone who grew up with nothing, and I hang out with a lot of people who also didn't grow up with money either, it feels like an actual like rift between me and them. This was an issue that I've had for like a number of years as well. I had a couple of people a group of people who I was hanging out with, and I kind of like stopped. And I'm once again candidly, and it's because there was no connection. And I mean from any perspective. So much of my life kind of revolves around making money, not building a wall, and I don't want to say building up protection, but it's this kind of making sure that me and mine are like solid and solidified so that we don't have to like want in the future. when I hear or read through articles or see things online, and I'm constantly being exposed to this idea of housing is becoming even more scarce than it ever was. New houses aren't being built. I don't know if you see that on your news, depending on where you are. You might have noticed, like, a lot of countries or cities or provinces, sometimes they're telling their citizens that they're trying to build 150,000 homes in a year. And then usually by the end of that year, they've only built like 15,000. So they're well below the actual quota. Those homes that they actually did build were purchased immediately by some company. The new housing is never, ever going to hit the hands of like people who are like wanting to be new house owners or homeowners. A lot of people, I keep seeing these documentaries about people wanting to get on the housing ladder and then they realize that they can't. And a large portion of that, excuse me, I'm not generalizing and this isn't everyone's life. But a lot of times I see these people in documentaries and yada, 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 and they're between 37, 38 to like 45, somewhere around there, just had their first kid, some kind of like thing like that. And they're all saying they don't understand why housing isn't cheap enough for them to get it. First of all, the idea is that everyone's trying to do the exact same thing. So you can have a dream, you can dream as high as the sky, but if you have billions of people all trying to do the exact same thing at some point, it's just not going to work out. Secondly, a lot of people have this weird misconception about like time when it comes to investing, which always like kind of gets me. So you must have all come into contact with someone like this or had this yourself, because this was also the thing that I was given when I was younger. The idea is that at some point at 65, this is what I was told as a kid. At 65, you will get to retire. I think it was even 62 when I was younger. People were saying 62. It's now 67. The idea of retirement is something in your mind that almost happens organically. You get older, money is coming from somewhere. It's being put into an account in the background automatically as you work. You turn 62, you turn 65, you turn 67. There's a couple $1 million ready for you, like from the system, from the government, from your job, from your 401k, from your ABCs, and all these other things. And you kind of like you don't have to ever really worry about retirement. And then a lot of that also kind of turned into, well, like you don't have to worry about retirement until you actually get older. By the time you're in your 50s, maybe even 55, start putting some money away. You understand what I'm saying? This entire idea, when they've seen, there are these videos where people like interview other people walking around in the street. You've seen them before for like really wacky, weird things. But there's some where they actually ask these people, are you ready for retirement? Are you preparing for retirement? Are you saving for retirement? And they ask people like in their early 30s, or some like in their 40s, and some were like in their actual 50s as well. They were asking these people, do you think you're ready for retirement? Are you saving for retirement? The resounding answer was no. And I'll say that from the perspective of the people in their late 20s, early 20s. There's a lot happening where they're trying to figure out what they're supposed to do with the rest of their life in their 20s. But by the time you get to people in their 30s, they were asking them this question. They said that they had no real intention of starting. They had like a bunch of places where they wanted to travel to. They wanted to buy this thing. They were working on getting a brand new car. They were working on trying to move to the area where they wanted to, not to like buy anything or to save up to buy something. But it was just that they wanted, like, it had other priorities in life and they would think about retirement later. And I sit there and you think it's a joke, or it doesn't make sense to you, or it doesn't make sense to me that people would not have a priority at any point to save any kind of money. And I mean any kind of money. It's something as simple as, I knew, and I can't tell you the exact activities. It's nothing illegal, but people had like daily activities that they did that basically were like a gigantic waste of money. And then I sat there thinking and calculating all of these numbers, and I was like, if you put even the idea of putting like $20 away a day, it adds up to so much more in the future. So many people that I've seen for so long complain about not having any money in their late 30s, early 40s. And then I make sure that I do nothing to actually act rude to them in any sort of way. But then at some point I ask and I go, well, have you thought about saving? Do you think about investing? Do you think about putting money away? And they go, well, I mean, I have years before I have to think of that. And I go, well, you actually don't. Because if you had thought of that when you were younger, you would not be in the situation where you currently are right now. And it kind of hits them really hard, because I think it's something that's in the back of their head that they don't want to hear. And then to have a friend say it to them, I think it kind of hurts even more, because it feels like I'm kind of judging them. Because once again, I'm the investor investor. I'm the crypto guy, usually within my circles. So then that transforms into me trying to like soften the blow. And I'm like, hey, you realize that if you actually like start now, what you didn't do before, by the time, you know, the 10, 15 years rolls around, you will definitely not have to actually think about money. This splits people into two camps. Either what do I do or I don't want to hear it. The I don't want to hear it, go, okay, well, that's cool. Eventually I'll figure it out. And these are the people who I kind of like sweep away, not out of my life, but I'm not in the mood to see people go into their 50s and not have any money and they're not able to do what I do. Not from like a pinky in the air bougie perspective, but it's more of a, I set up my life a very certain way. Remember when I was telling you before, like the things that I do in my life are very specific. I make sure that I'm constantly, every month, putting a huge amount of money away, always. I'm investing in crypto, I'm investing in so I'm putting my money here, like I'm nesting, putting money away. It's because, and I even figured this out years ago, when I started investing, I was like, I want my life to be a very specific kind of way. I want to be able to travel whenever I want to travel. I want to be able to buy whatever I want to buy. I'm not talking about like extremely lavish, extravagant kinds of things. But if I want to buy something that's $200 or $300, I don't want it to be a question mark. I don't want to go, do I have enough in my bank account? No, of course I have enough in my bank account. I know that I can definitely buy this thing. Like these, I don't care for luxury items and all those other things in the first place. It's more of a, I want this kind of ease of life that I know other people don't have because they're not working towards it and they don't think that they can have it and therefore they don't even try to remotely get it. When I travel someplace, a lot of times, if you saw my other travel videos when I was doing more of my travel channel, part of the thing was I was always traveling with friends all the time because I've made a group of friends who I made sure that like, I don't want to travel by myself. I don't want to be alone. I want to travel with other people. I want to have experiences with other people who also are like-minded like me so that when we can travel together, I can wake up in the morning and be like, let's go here. And they go, all right, fine, let's go. Like it's not like I don't got it. I can't got it. I'm not going to get it. The money's just not there. Give me 15 and a half years. I don't want any, like none of it. It doesn't make any sense that you have no aspirations to do something better for your life or that you don't want to like make sure that in the future that you're not struggling in any sort of way, that you don't have any form of passive income, that the idea of passive income to you like sounds scary or sounds too difficult to actually like bring up or build in some sort, like it sounds gross to me, like actually almost like repulsive. When I hear people say that they don't care about their future, they don't care about what's happening right now, that they don't want to save, they don't want to put money away. And when I tell them that I'm traveling somewhere, they go, wow, that must be nice. You're really lucky. Wow. And it's like, I'm not lucky. I just paid attention. I look at the numbers. I put stuff away. I was telling you before all those years ago. For those of you who don't know, a lot of times people sometimes like they'll see me in the street. Like if I'm here, if I'm there, people have seen me in London walking around, yada, yada, yada. If I'm traveling and stuff like that. And people like, I notice it. People look at what I'm wearing all the time. And I have this coat that I've had for a very long time. I've had this coat for like almost 15 years. The coat was 50 cents. I got it from a flea market. And somebody was asking me one time, he was like, why the coat? And that's why I made another video about that years and years and years ago. The idea is that I don't need a new coat every single year. The coat is completely fine. The coat hasn't fallen apart. The coat actually looks quite beautiful. I got it for 50 cents at a flea market. I know so many people every single year, they're buying a brand new coat. They're buying a brand new this. They're buying a brand new hat, buying a brand new scarf, buying a brand new shoes, buying brand new boots. Every single year, you don't need 38 pairs of boots. You don't need a new coat. All that money that you're putting away, this is thousands of dollars every single year, buying clothes, trying to impress other people that could have gone into crypto. Imagine you had an extra $7,000 back in 2016 that you could have put into the market because you weren't buying tons of clothes, because you were saving money on the side, because you were waiting for an investment to pop up so that you could throw money into. So the two bands are, I don't care, people kind of walk away. And then I have the other people who are like, well, what do I do? And even that is split into a 90-10 kind of group because people think that they're entertaining me by listening to the words that I'm saying. Okay, let me hear them out. Okay, cool. Well, all right, that sounds great. That sounds awesome. And then you have the final sliver, the last 10% who go, all right, how do I do this? Because it actually intrigues them. You know how many people I know, like I hang out with actively. Once again, I'm not trying to hang out only with people who are rich, money. But I want all of my friends, the whole spectrum, everybody. I want everyone to be able to like live a very comfortable life. But I hang out with a lot of people who don't want to hear what I have to say, who don't want to invest, who don't want to put money away, who don't want to like prepare for the future, which is crazy. And when I hang out with them, It's the same story. Yeah, rent is coming up, and it's these kinds of like little things where I'm always like wary because I've heard these stories so many times, and I know that someone's gonna be like, yeah, life isn't easy. If only I had an extra 1,500, if only somebody could lend me some money so I could pay my rent, that'd be really great. And it's like, no, I help you out with free advice. You know how many people told me over the years that I should be, what's that word? It's not a counselor. It's some kind of like someone who helps people with their money and like lets them know what to do and where to put stuff. I forgot exactly what the word is because my brain is like going 80,000 miles an hour right now. And I'm like, no, I like the idea of giving information for free. This is why I have the YouTube channels. I want to be able to like literally like talk to you and let you know what information, what's happening around the world, like for free. You don't have to pay for this information. It's simply there. You can look at my videos every single day and get the exact same information. And to know that I have people who like don't care, who don't want, like I understand not assuming that the world of the rich might not be for you or that having things easy is just kind of things, the way that things are, that's the status quo. But if I'm telling you that I was like you a couple of years ago, we both woke up, were raised broke, and now I have the freedom to be able to basically do whatever I want in life. And that doesn't, do you understand like you're getting older? Now, once again, like this isn't directed towards you because if you've, especially this far into the video, you're definitely like, I assume you're up on it. Like you are here trying to make sure that you have a better life. And this is why you've been investing the last couple of years. But I find it terrifying that there are people out there who don't want a better future, aren't working to work towards something better for when they get older. Remember I told you years ago, I knew these people, I knew this one girl. All she did was buy clothes all the time. She was constantly, she was broke, like broke, like needing to like, can somebody give me some rice so I can eat? Like that's not like that level. And I sat her down one time and I was like, I can help you. Like I can set you all the money that you're spending. If you help me, like 60% of what you're spending on clothes, I can help you allocate it in so many different places so that in the next 20 years you have a good nest egg. And I told you, she turned it like it was almost like something out of a cartoon. She like turned her back to me. She was like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, okay, and turned around and I was like, and I told her, I was like, you're going to get older. Like, at some point, like you're not going to want to work. Like your bones will hurt. Like your body's going to age. You're gonna want to be like, actually, I want to go to a beach. I want to go sit somewhere. I think I want to go to Bali for a month. Actually, I'm able to do so because my friend helped me. That's never going to be a possibility ever for these people. That's why I'm so adamant and why I like have this idea about investing and why I keep like telling all of you, I'm like, listen, have a conversation with your portfolio, get it together, sell stuff around your house that you don't need. Like get yourself together, get yourself in order, especially for this bull run. People are going to be making a lot of money and it's just about diligence and it's some kind of discipline. I'm not asking you to be like as monk and sage and crazy and walk around in a 50-cent coat like I do, which is, it's an incredible coat. I'm telling you, like it looks perfectly fine. I don't know. I assume I must be 20 something years old at this point. It's perfectly fine, but $20 a day. I mean, like cumulatively, for those of you who don't know that thing, the idea is that the average, this was given for Americans, I believe. The average American is spending around $10,000 a year on frivolous purchases. And you go, 10K is a lot. I think it comes out to $27 a day. At some point on a weekend, you're going, you go out with friends, you go out to have dinner. The bill comes out to $100 something. You buy a pair of shoes that you don't need, a new coat that you don't need, a new hat that you don't need. People buying extra cars, they're leasing a new car every single year. People buying extra TVs, extra phones. You don't need a new phone every single year. It all adds up, and year on year, it comes out to just about $10,000. What could you do with an extra 10K? How could you invest that money over the course of a 10-year period? That's not even a down payment on a home. That's you establishing establishing dividends that over the course of the next couple of years, like literally will pay your life. It's weird. It's very odd to think that there are people out there. Maybe it's like an all hope is lost kind of thing. That's what doom spending also has to do with, people kind of assuming that like, they'll never become rich because we've been taught and told and lied to that being rich is only for the rich. And therefore you got to live your money as quick as you possibly can. Remember that TV show? It was called Extreme Cheapskates. It's a very old show. I kind of wish they brought it back. It has some weird episodes. There was one episode in particular, last thought, with this girl. I think she was living with her sister and her grandmother. I don't remember exactly what it was. But she was saving all this money, and I realized why she was doing it, because sometimes the angle for a lot of these people is, this person's crazy, look at what they're doing. You can tell that she grew up poor. She wanted something better for herself, so she was constantly stashing her money away into a bank account. And then there's one point where her family sat her down, and they were like, "We don't like what you're doing. You don't live your life. You don't go out and party and have fun. You're never doing this with your friends. Whenever we go do so in X, Y, and Z, you're not doing it with us." And you could see on her face, she was very uncomfortable, the girl. And then finally her grandmother said something like, "Spend your money, live your life, spend your money and enjoy yourself." And I was like, your grandmother told you some of the most toxic advice you will ever hear in your entire life. Stop saving. Spend your money. You're thinking about the future. You're thinking about buying a home. What are you doing? Live your life right now while you can. The grandmother doesn't own anything. She doesn't have any money. She's broke. It's odd. All of it is so weird. Stay on the path that you're on. Save. Continue to put money away. Make extra money. Do what you can. I understand. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Wanting to live your best life right now. But I put that on the back burner for 5 to 10 years and kept my head down. You can do the exact same thing. It's not about living your life right now because, Lord willing, you probably will be around in the next 10 years, the next 15 years, the next 20 years, the next 25 years, the next 30 years. You probably want money in your bank account. You probably want some kind of dividends that are being paid. You probably want to have purchased crypto. You want to have some kind of investments. You want to have some kind of assets. I ask people all the time. And this is what I was talking about. Like when I said, I feel like I'm talking to a wall. I chat with people all the time. And I try and let my friends know, hey, did you see so-and-so? Did you blah, 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 blah? Are you putting money away? Are you saving? Are you investing? And I see the two double checks. I see that you read my message, and then they'll go around it. And I'm like, you are in for a rough life financially in the future. You won't have anything. You think I'm trying to cheat you or scam you or send you down the wrong path in some sort of way. It's odd. It's very, very odd. It's very, very weird. So, yeah, it will pay off. Understand that. It's going to pay off. You're going to look like the smart one for your friends in the future when all you've done is literally squirrel money away. You put money to the side. You invested. Yeah. I don't know where that video was going. I actually had no idea where it was going. I think it was just a whole bunch of personal stuff that's been happening to me lately, or me having these conversations with people, because I understand that most people don't get what's happening with inflation. They don't get what's happening with the markets. They don't get what's happening with the debt crisis, all these other things. So when I try and explain it to them, nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to. The idea of making money is supposed to be fast and quick. It's in a movie. It happens instantaneously. It's a windfall. That's where happiness comes from. If you try and make money slowly over the course of multiple years, it's boring. You need dedication. Nobody wants that. I just saw a TV show. Last thought. I saw a TV show. It's an old comedy from the 80s and 90s. And this mother was making fun of her daughter. It's a comedy, whatever. And the daughter starts speaking completely in French. And the mother was like, "You speak French?" She was like, "Yeah." She's like, "You live this fast and furious life where you don't understand that things take time." She's like, "I went to school. I learned another language. It was boring. It took time, and now I'm fluent in French." And the mother was flabbergasted. Anyway, doesn't really matter. Things take time. Everything doesn't have to happen right now, but only the dedicated few are going to make it. You know how bad it's going to be in the future for people who don't have assets? I know I keep saying that over and over, but people aren't really getting it. Consolidation is the word that I could not think in the other video. The consolidation of wealth is getting really strong. And you need assets, or you are going to be left behind. Right. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you got something from it. Sorry for the rambling. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.